Hello gamers, it's SoftKitty99 in Battle for Azeroth. We're in patch 8.2.5 and if you come to Mildenhall Meadery, the Alliance can open up a new faction, the Honeyback Hive faction, and this is the faction you need in order to get the bee mount. You need to come over to this boat, close to Barry the beekeeper, and just click on him. But you do need to have a bee pet out. Once you do that, these pheromone clouds will appear and you need to follow the trail of pheromone clouds to the new hive. There are two different pets that you can have out. The first is Bumbles, which you get from Mildenhall Meadery with a quest chain. The second is the Sea Breeze Bumblebee, which can be purchased for 250 pet charms from the faction vendor in Stormsong Valley. Then you just need to follow the pheromone clouds across the valley to the location of the new hive. It is quite a long trek, so I'll show you the location of the hive if you want to skip the actual tracking of the clouds across the valley. Following the pheromone clouds, the first sign that you've actually found the hive location is this big set of honeycomb on the side of the cliff. And if you just follow the clouds around the edge of this little bit of cliff, you will come to the entrance to the cave. This is the location for the new Honeyback Hive faction. A loud buzzing sounds on your approach. Barry the beekeeper shows up, and so does the Honeyback Hive mother. "Whoa there, your majesty! I'm sure our new friend meant no harm." The enormous bee buzzes angrily at you. She appears to be defending the hive. Can't blame her. Maybe you can find a little something to convince her to let us in?
Not from reindeer, are you?
Didn't get stung, did you? Boy, I've met some aggressive bugs in my life, but this new hive really doesn't seem to trust newcomers. I wonder if there's a way to fix that. Barry strokes his beard in thought. She's really big, that hive mother, isn't she? So, we need to go and find something in order to get the trust of the hive mother. So let's have a look around and see what we can find. So what you're looking for is a jelly deposit on the ground. It looks like a tiny little honeycomb, and this is the location here. It's a little bit further away from the cave than I first expected. It's just overlooking the little pond, and as you can see, it's sort of diagonally towards the pond away from the little cave. And now we've got a thin jelly deposit.
Times were simpler once. Seas grant you favour.
Right, so we can offer the bee the thin jelly deposit that we've just picked up. Barry says, "Hey, I've an idea, come here."
Every hand helps.
"Just let me do the talking, stranger. I've a knack for this sort of thing." Barry winks at you. Okay, go ahead, Barry. "We should probably start with introductions." Barry says, "My name is Barry." Oh gosh, so he's dancing to talk to the hive mother. So apparently bees communicate by dancing. That's interesting. Oh look, spinny, 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 spinny. Right, so what's he got? So he's telling her he's pleased to meet her. And something the hive mother says is very interesting. And he says, "Leave it to me." Okay, so what we're leaving to you, Barry? There we are. See, nothing to worry about. What, you didn't catch that? Ha, come on inside and I'll explain. Yeah, it'd be really nice if you explain, because I don't speak bee. So this is the location for the hive cave, so you can skip the following the pheromones and just come straight here if you like.
Not from reindeer, are you?
They've certainly made themselves at home, haven't they? Now then, I'm sure you have questions. Oh, Barry here is happy to answer. What can I help you with? Barry, what was that all about? What was what about? Oh, the hive mother. My friend, you really ought to learn to speak bee. She told me that this hive is new to this region. No idea where they might have come from, but they're here now. They are going through the usual struggle to find enough food to keep things moving and the like. Something about etins and bears? Regardless, I told her we would help her out, so if you happen to spot an opportunity to help our new friends, I'm sure that they'd be grateful. What do you mean, Barry? So Barry says, you might start by taking that bit of jelly you found and feeding it to this here larva. Couldn't hurt. So in front of Barry, on the honeycomb, you can see this blob of honey, and inside it there's a little larva. Can we get a better look at it for you? Oh, no, that bee's in the way. There we go. So this is the little one he's looking at us. So the bee larva wiggles occasionally and we can feed it. Oh, you see the little heart? So we fed it the piece of thin jelly and then we got a little heart icon above it. So I bet if you find more, you could really begin to earn their trust. I'll be outside if you need me. And the larva now has a reputation bar above its head, so as you feed it jelly, the reputation will increase and the bars will fill up. And the Honeyback Hive mother is now a vendor. The first 3 items she's got are 3 different types of jelly, a green, a blue and a purple. Each one gives a higher amount of reputation depending on its rarity, and the only reason for converting one type of jelly to another is to reduce the number of clicks to feed the larva. The next item she sells you will require friendly reputation with the Honeyback Hive, and it is the Alluring Bloom, and it has a 15-minute cooldown and basically just summons a bee to take you swiftly back to the hive if you wish to return quickly in order to turn things in. The final item that she sells requires exalted reputation and a mature honeyback harvester. So this is the larva that you can see now. You have to raise it all the way up to being a mature honeyback harvester, and this item here, the collected Tide Bloom honey, will then start a quest chain in order to get your bee mount. Sorry Horde, this can only be done on the Alliance, so if you don't have an Alliance character, I'm afraid you're going to have to miss out on this one. So the things to do is to raise the hive reputation and to raise up your little larva by feeding it lots and lots of honey. There are 3 different ways in order to earn reputation and to acquire the jelly. The first is to defeat the Honey Smasher rare spawn, which can be found right on this beach, right at the very top of Stormsong Valley. You can kill this rare spawn once per day, and you'll gain 500 reputation with the Honeyback Hive each time you kill him. It's best to do this as a large group, because he's very difficult to kill. He has about a 10-minute respawn timer, so you won't have to wait long for him to respawn, and as I said, you can kill it once per day and it always spawns in this one location. When you loot him, you've got quite a high chance to get the higher values of the honey. There you can see I got one of the purple royal jellies and one of the blue rich jellies, so that's quite a nice little boost to the jelly to feed to your larva. The second way to get reputation and jelly is to go around the valley looking for flower patches with a little bee hovering over it. This is the Honeyback Harvester. There are multiple spawn points for these throughout the valley, and you can see on the map where we are for this particular one. If you check on Wildhead, they've got a map which is currently being updated every time people find a new spawn point. At the moment I think they've got about 8 different possible locations for these. Once someone speaks to the bee, that will begin an event. The event will last for 5 minutes, and during that time different waves of mobs will come in and you have 5 minutes to kill them all. You can repeat these events once per hour in order to get rewards. The timer resets on the hour, so it's possible to do 2 events, one just before the hour and one just after the hour, but you can only get rewards from one each hour. The larger your group, the higher the chance of getting rare spawns to spawn, and the higher the rewards you will gain at the end of the event. So if you can get a full raid group, you are much more likely to get better rewards. You have 5 minutes in order to kill as many waves as possible, and the final wave is always a rare spawn. In this particular one it's the honey smasher, and you have to kill it before the event is over, so everything has to be done in a 5-minute time limit. Here is the honey smasher from the end of our event. If you manage to kill these rare spawns at the end of the event, they have a chance to drop a quest item which can be turned into the hive for reputation. Once the event is over, you'll find a little patch of honeycomb in the centre of the flowers which you loot for your rewards. This can include jelly. The amount you get will depend on how many things you manage to kill during the waves. It can also include things like a butterfly pet and various flavour rewards that you can use during the events. The third and final way to get jelly is to look around the entirety of Stormsong Valley and look for jelly deposits. This is where I found one, but they can be found absolutely everywhere throughout Stormsong Valley. The flavour items that you pick up are one-time use items and include such things as the BB gun, which you can use to shoot mobs and it does damage to them, or hats that you can put on your bee pet, such as the little princess hat which you can see on my bee here. Once you've collected lots of jelly, you want to return to the hive and click on the larva. Now you can see all the things you've picked up, and when you click on them you can feed them to the little larva to help him grow. As you do that, that will increase your reputation with the hive and with the larva. So every time you click, you will gain both reputation with the hive and you will raise your friendliness level with the little larva, which will eventually grow into a honeyback harvester, which you can then train to become your bee mount. And that is how you get the reputation with the new Honeyback Hive faction. Just outside the hive, just to the side, you can see here is Barry the beekeeper, and he will actually give you some of this information. They've certainly made themselves at home, haven't they? Now then, I'm sure you have questions. Old Barry here is happy to answer. What can I help you with? And he's got various things that you can ask him to tell you about. So he'll basically give you information about all the things that I've shown you during the video, so you can just get all the clues about what to do here from Barry. Come on Barry, tell me about the hive, Mother. Every hive has its queen, you see. She's responsible for the hive's growth. All of these bees are her children. By the looks of it, she's all by herself. Ordinarily there's a young hive mother among the larvae. Might explain why she's so protective. Tell me about the harvesters. Oh, the little yellow ones. Aye, they're the sweetest of bees. Their whole lives revolve around flowers and honey and caring for the hive. Blessedly simple creatures, harvesters, but they make up for it in other ways. Never had a harvester sting me, not once. They might even let you pet their fuzzy little thoraxes if you treat them right. Barry sighs happily. Tell me about the Guardians. Well, the name has some implications, doesn't it? Guardians are the first to attack and the last to ask questions before doing it. They are fierce protectors of the hive and will selflessly sacrifice themselves if need be. There's something to be said about that kind of loyalty. Tides help you if you get them the wrong side of a guardian, though. They have a tendency to call the rest of the hive to swarm their foes. Nasty way to go. But hey, they're red and they're easy to spot. Just give them the space. I see, I think, Barry. What do you know about raising bees? Enough to know they do most of the work themselves. Give them plenty of jelly to eat, leave them to their own devices, and eventually they'll crawl from the soup and start flying about. Really quite fascinating. From there, these bees grow incredibly fast. They have to, given how large they get. It takes a substantial quantity of jelly to grow one of these to full size. Alright, jelly is what the bees make from all the pollen they gather from flowers. Some of it is used to make honey, but the rest is used to feed the hive. They have to make quite a lot to feed a hive this size, so I wouldn't be surprised if they have little deposits of the stuff all over Storm Song by now. I'm willing to bet if you bring it back here, the hive mother will be super happy. And then if you click at the bottom, he's also a vendor, so you can sell any junk that you might have picked up on your travels. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. From SoftKitty99, goodbye and happy gaming!